Hey everyone, it's Susan Pierce Thompson and welcome to the weekly vlog. I want to talk this week about eating dreams and dreams in general. I mean, dreams are a huge subject. We'll leave that to Freud. But in particular, the type of dream where in real life you've quit some kind of addictive substance or process, and then in your dream, you pick it up, or you're tempted to pick it up, or that's the subject of the dream of like some form of engaging with this thing, this addiction. Someone in the Bright Line Eating Bootcamp just reached out to me with a coaching question of, several of us in the bootcamp are talking about these dreams we're having. Is this common? What do you make of this? And I thought to myself, I'll just refer her to the vlog on eating dreams. And then I Googled it and there wasn't one. And I thought, really? In all the years of doing this vlog week in and week out, I haven't talked about eating dreams? Like, seriously? So I thought, well, high time, because I have a very particular opinion about this. I feel like I know what the deal is with these dreams, what they mean. Yes, they're common. They're very common. And I first experienced myself a using dream when I was 15 years old. What happened was I'd started smoking cigarettes. I started smoking when I was 15 years old. And my dad found out and he took me out to dinner. And he said, "Susan, you're smoking." And I said, "Yep." And he said, "I have a proposal for you. You can take it or leave it, but here's my proposal. If you don't have a drag of a cigarette for 3 months, I will give you $100. Now, this was 1989, and it kind of stuns me now that $100 meant that much to me, but it did. I remember it feeling like a huge amount of money. Huge. And he caught me in a moment where I kind of wanted to quit. Like, I was up for it. And I wanted the money. And I said, "Okay, Dad, you're on. I won't have a drag of a cigarette for 3 months. I want that $100. And he looked me in the eye and he said, "Keep in mind, it's not that if you smoke a pack of cigarettes, you'll lose that $100. Or if you smoke a whole cigarette, it's the first puff. That first puff is going to cost you $100. I want you to remember that. Is that one puff worth $100 to you? Go forth and prosper, right? Like, have at it. Here you go. 3 months not smoking." And I thought, wow, one drag of a cigarette is going to cost me $100. So what happened was during that stretch of 3 months, I had 2 very poignant nightmares. And in my nightmares, I had smoked. And now I needed to decide whether to lie to my dad about it. And in the dream, I was tortured. I was going back and forth because I wanted the $100. And I lied back then. I did. I was a liar. And, I was just beginning my drug use escapades. And I was a liar, a cheat, and a thief for many years. On and off doing drugs, no conscience, no real remorse or shame, but I guess I still did have some form of conscience because I didn't want to lie to my dad, and it came out in my nightmares. Was I going to lie to my dad about this? Because I didn't live with my dad at that time. I was living with my mother and my grandmother, seeing my dad a bunch, but not living with him. And in the dream, it was clear to me he wouldn't know. He wouldn't smell it on my clothes or on my breath or whatever. I'd smoked, and was I going to lie to him about it? Horrible nightmares, like wake up kind of nightmares, like really intense nightmares. Fast forward, when I quit drinking and using drugs when I was 20, I had using dreams. Periodically, I absolutely did. And then when I quit eating addictively, I had eating dreams. For me, my dreams usually took the form of, in the dream, I had picked up without meaning to. Like, there I was having consumed the first bite, drink, hit, puff, whatever. And I was like, "Oh no, I wasn't supposed to do that. Like, I'm supposed to be abstaining. Like, what?" And then there was the whole like feeling tricked and not wanting it to be true. And what do I do now? And anyway, these dreams can take all kinds of forms. They can take the form of like resisting successfully in your dream. Like there's the temptation and in the dream you pass it by, which is hugely empowering, obviously. Like we love that. Or it can take the form of like just all out indulging and not caring. And then you wake up thinking, what happened? I thought I was on the wagon and it mattered to me. Like, why in this dream did I not, did I not notice that I was not supposed to be using that substance? So now I coach all these people, right? Who are doing this bright line eating thing. And so I get to see the patterns at the 50,000 foot level. And, the pattern is this. Those dreams are common and they appear when it matters to you that you're not doing that anymore. When you really, really care. That's when those dreams appear. Which kind of makes sense, right? Because you can't have a nightmare about some horrible thing if you don't think it's a horrible thing, right? Like if you wouldn't have a nightmare about eating broccoli because you probably, eating broccoli is probably not a horrible thing to you, right? You wouldn't have a nightmare about some kind of outcome that wasn't a bad thing. And that's when these dreams appear, is when you are deeply committed. In my experience, they don't appear if you're not deeply committed. That doesn't mean the converse, meaning if you're not having those dreams, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not deeply committed. Dreams are weird. They appear when they appear. But if you are having eating dreams, my opinion is that that is a good sign, regardless of the form that the dream takes. These dreams take all kinds of weird forms. Regardless of the form that the dream takes, in my opinion, an eating dream signifies one thing. It signifies deep, deep commitment to your bright line eating journey. That's what it means. It means you're in this. And somewhere at the back of your brain, it's working out, all the angles and the contingencies, and it creates this, a little bit of a healthy fear of the cliff, right? All of a sudden there's a cliff. There didn't used to be a cliff. But picking up food outside your food plan is suddenly, it's a thing. And it's the back of your brain kind of working that out. It's all right. It just means deep, deep, deep commitment. And, beyond that, I'll step off the armchair. I'm not, out of the whatever. I'm not a psychiatrist, right? So, I will step out of the dream interpretation game. But over the years, I have come to believe that that's what using dreams signify. That's what they mean. That's when they show up. That's just from my experience seeing the patterns in my own life and in other people's lives. That's when those dreams show up, when you're deeply committed. So to the boot camper who asked that question, and to anyone else who started a bright line eating journey and has noticed some weird eating dreams popping up, that is my 2 cents on eating dreams, and it's high time I shot a vlog about it. I'll see you next week.